So it's another beautiful day in New York. It was supposed to rain today, but they've changed the forecast for it to be partly cloudy. No clouds in the sky. Right now, I'm walking to the New York Public Library because I've always wanted to see it. And then after that, we're pretty much in Chinatown, so I'm gonna go do some Chinatown stuff. I bought some bagel for breakfast at this little Jewish bagel place on Lexington. It's been owned by the same family since 1890, which I think is just like the best New York story. That's why I love this place. I'm gonna take the intersection now and see if I can make it to the library in a reasonable amount of time. So I'm walking through Chinatown. I'm just gonna show you kind of what it looks like in here. So Siri led me astray. It wasn't the New York Public Library, it was New York Public Library. Gonna cut our losses, keep walking through Chinatown. Chinese kosher vegetarian is my favorite combination of things. So I got to the makeup store in Chinatown, only to find that it was indeed closed. Not like closed like shut for the day, like closed down. There was nothing in that space. I'm gonna take a little walk kind of through the downtown area. There's some interesting things to be seen. I'm gonna fix it shortly. I finished my bagels. They were really delicious. Found this giant cube. Welcome to One World Trade Center. I thought about whether or not I was gonna come here for a long time. I was 9 when the disaster happened, so in terms of comprehension, it just wasn't there. But still, this is a very important piece of American culture, so I thought I would stop by and just look. I'm not going to go to the memorial, but I will just show you around really quick. This is the giant, tall, awesome-looking building. Hard to give the memorial pool a sense of scale because it's just so big. So the last time I was in New York, it was 2002. This was still a big flaming hole in the ground. I know there was a lot of controversy and criticism of the memorial design, but I think it's really good. Like, it just is big. I think it does a really good job of conveying a sense of magnitude to the whole thing, which is what I would go for if I was designing a memorial like this. Like I mentioned, there is a visitor center. They charge you like $30 to get in. I'm not a really big fan of grief tourism, as you can see. They also have guided tours of the memorial, just the outside, and I think that that's weird, and I don't know what you would be guided on. I went to see the giant hole in the ground. Once again, because I was a little kid when this happened, it didn't really convey any kind of gravity to me at the time. Obviously now, I appreciate what a serious time this was for a lot of people and how this really impacted the city. I don't know, I know a lot of my viewers are Canadian, and so I'm sure it doesn't hold like the same connotations for you guys, but it's still a big deal. So next on the agenda is a trip to Battery Park, as well as a trip to a shoe store, because I can't go to New York and not buy new shoes. It's just not how it's done. So I turned right, and I should have turned left. Out of shoes, I'm now down by the water. So I think I'll just head over to the Battery Park and we'll get shoes later for a change of plans. My mother also just texted me about a fancy cheese place on Bleecker Street in the Village. So I think I might go to the Village this afternoon and look around, just because the Village is a fun place. There's lots of little boutiques. I'd like to do some antique shopping as well. Not antiques, that was the wrong word. I'd like to look at some like vintage consignment stores. So it's like 10 degrees colder by the water, but it's just so pretty. Hang on, I'll flip around and show you. Over here, that is the Statue of Liberty. Forgot how great it was being next to the water until I moved somewhere completely landlocked. So, while we have such a nice view of Lady Liberty, I decided on this trip I would not be going to Ellis Island. I went here back when I was a kid, and on this trip I decided I was not going to prioritize those kinds of trips. And I also did cut some museums from my list of things I wanted to see, and Ellis Island was one I had already been to, and so if I missed it I wasn't going to be too disappointed. I'm at Brookfield Place. That's the nicest mall I've ever been to. I have a Ferragamo store. There's a Michael Kors behind me. The J. Crew is the cheapest place in here. I was gonna be good and get something healthy for lunch, but it was like I could get something healthy, or I could go to Shake Shack. Taking a little walk on the High Line now. A lot of difficulties keeping the neighborhood straight. This is apparently the meatpacking district. I suppose if you're here a lot, you just know, but I'm not. Bought some very fancy cheeses for my mother. 3 hard, 1 soft. Next stop is the shoe store. Then after the shoe store, take the subway home to put away my fancy cheese in the fridge, and then we'll see about things to do this afternoon. Okay, so I'm at dinner, and it's this nice French place called Babette's Feast, and I'm having a 3-course prix-fixe meal, and so I'll show it to you when it gets here. After my little adventure in Greenwich Village, I just took all my stuff back to the apartment, and now I'm settling down. This restaurant's really nice. I'm really happy I came here. I wasn't sure where I was going to go. I wanted to go to Flex Muscles, except it was totally full, so I thought maybe we'll try something different, so I went to this place on 3rd, and so far, no disappointment. And the bread is in this funny little bean bag. I like it. My French onion soup has arrived.